testament of our dependency on the Spirit of God. Whenever you see us congregate as such, it is a testament of our acceptance of the fact that on our own, we are not complete. It's for that reason that we gather. Whenever we congregate like this, it's a testament of the fact that we know that if you leave us on our own, we will self-destruct. So every now and then we will gather and we congregate in different locations and in different places and in different times as a proof that on our own we cannot do anything and we cannot achieve much. If you leave us to engage in the battles of life, we will be casualties in the field. And because we have accepted this, we decide to congregate intermittently and weekly or daily or every minute of the day just to say to me that without you, we can do nothing. But with God, all things become possible for us. So until a man accepts the help of the divine, you can never walk into the realm of possibilities. So whenever we gather and it seems as if anyone is not worshiping, it means that that person has said to himself that on his own he is complete. In a certain dispensation, God unveiled the knowledge of himself to mortals by reason of the different encounters that they had with him. So a time came that patriarchs in the faith, on account of their interaction with the Great One, discovered that God was a great provider that knew how to make up for the insufficiencies of man. And so Abraham, on the mountaintop of sacrifice and worship, discovered that God was Jehovah Jireh. And so for long a time, a generation knew God by the distinct names and the distinct encounters he had with different patriarchs and great fathers of faith. It was not given to them to interact and koinonia with the person of God. They could only interact with his works. They could only interact with his dimensions. They could not interact with his person. So those generations were limited in their approach of the person called God. They fragmented the possibilities of God in names by reason of that which they interacted with when communing with the Great One. And so, when God brings peace to the land, they will begin to call him by the name Jehovah Shalom. Because they were interacting with his dimension of peace. God could not reveal himself to them. He could reveal his works to them. And they could celebrate him on account of the works that was given to them. They could cry for deliverance. And he will come and fight in their battles and bring deliverance to them. And so they will know him as the man of war. They could not interact with his person. They could only interact with his works. And so the children of Israel will be in the battlefront. And they will fight and fight without hope. But once the ark comes, victory comes. And so they begin to rejoice because they are celebrating the entrance of God. That was the way by which a generation knew God. And yet, out of that generation, we could record the chronicles of the fathers of faith. And so when we begin to write the story of faith in the book of Hebrews, we will see that by faith, these men conquered through time. By faith, these men did mighty things in their time. By faith, women had their dead brought back to life. By faith, these men did not know God. They interacted with the dimensions God permitted them to see. But in our time, when we go to the battlefront, we are not waiting for them to bring the physical ark. We are the ark. Because on account of our salvation, we began to interact with Him in the privacy of the altar upon the canvas of our hearts. And so we could call God Abba. The name Abba was not given to the Israelites. They could call Him Jehovah this, Jehovah Mekadishka, Jehovah Nissi, Jehovah Jireh. They could not call Him Father. That was why when Jesus called Him Father, they tried to stone Him. They said it was a taboo. He was making Himself what? Equal to God. They considered calling God Father equality with God. You don't know who you are. How can you talk about engaging the help of God when you have not known that He has given you the greatest help, that by making you to be called of His own? What other help does humanity need? In time past, when there is war, they will desire for the priest to come into the camp and lift up sacrifices for them. On account of that, and then they will go into war with the ark. On account of that, they will have faith for victory. Now, we don't need to go to a church to consult God. We inquire. We go into God and we see one intimacy. Intimacy. We go into Him and we begin to see His mind. We begin to know His ways. We begin to touch His grace. We begin to do business with His will. It's the destiny that has been given to you as a believer. So when we sing that our help has come, we are celebrating the person of Christ. We are celebrating the victory at the cross. And we are saying, yes, we are conscious now. We are celebrating our heightened consciousness of the workings of God and the workings of grace. Give us help against the adversary. For deliverance by man is vain. King James said, for vain is the help of man. You see, the psalmist came to a point that he understood that a man can desire to help you, but because he is yet but a man that is laden with several infirmities, a man that is uncertain of his future, because he is but a man, he can but do very little to bring help to you. And the psalmist lifted up his voice and said, vain is the help of man. I don't know about you, I don't know how many times you have depended on man for help and for deliverance. Maybe you have not been disappointed in life. That's why you are still thinking that it's a man that must help you. God will help you, but He will do it through man. You need to know the place man comes into this whole equation. But because of our time, I want to just go through some points to help us in our journey this evening, that Jesus will be glorified. As you journey through life, you will come to different points in your life that you will be stranded. Captured in the pathway of every mortal valleys of decisions. Scripture said that multitudes are in the valley of decisions. Different points where you would need to make a choice. Different points where you would need an extra push. Different points where you will need a man or a being from the spirit realm to assist you. Different points where you will know that if you are not helped here, you cannot do much. As you journey through life, many things will make you sigh and hiss and say, indeed, man is man. No matter how well you fight, no matter how well you decide to do all the things you want to do, no matter how well you engage in the battles of life, one thing will definitely stop you one day that will make you know that indeed we are mortals. On a good day, you will go for a burial that you will look at a big man that spoke so highly, talked as if he can never die. It was not bullet that got him down. In different points in life, you will come to that point that you will be totally confused. You will know that at this point in your life, it's only God. You will see an atheist saying it is only God that can help you. You will come to a point that young boy, that young lady, that man, that woman that does not believe in God and that does not pray will boldly confess that it is only God that can help me. Funny enough, they know, but they will also come to Him. Now the question is, we know that we need His help, but how do we engage His hand? How do we involve Him in our private affairs? I've told us before that if it is available in grace, it is downloadable by faith. Whatever God has made available, you can download. It's for that reason that Scripture said that with God, all things are possible. With God. The question then is, how do I engage the hand of God in my life? How do I engage the hand of God in my situation? How do I engage the hand of God in my family? How do I come into the partnership system of God that I can boldly say that God is with me and this situation must change? Because we don't have much time, I will want to. Let's see where we can start today. One of the systems that have been made available in the kingdom for interacting with the person of God is the system that we all call prayer. 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 The technology of prayer is that system that has been set up in the kingdom by which we mobilize His help. Listen to me. I said by which you mobilize His help. We are talking about engaging His help. And I'm talking about mobilizing His help. You see, because you must know that there's a difference between engaging and mobilizing. You see, through prayers, we mobilize